Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Izola here with FlickDirect, and we're kind of switching up things just a tiny bit in the way that I'm doing these videos, and also what we will be discussing today. We're going to do a little television, a little series action, and this week we are talking about Dexter Original Sin. So grab your popcorn, sit back, relax, and let's get this started. Okay. So before I start, and for those of you who have gotten past the intro, we're going to kind of do something a little fun. So I'm going to tell you right now, stay tuned for any videos that might pop up on our social media because we are going to start doing some random giveaways throughout the year. And I'll be making sure to give you all the details in those videos. But I just wanted to give you this little sneaky peek of what's going to be happening so that you do like and subscribe to our channels and also follow us on social media like Instagram, TikTok, all of them, because we will be giving a secret video out that kind of tells you how you can win this little giveaway. So stay tuned and hopefully you guys will enjoy. Okay, you guys all know why we're here from the intro. We are going to be talking about Dexter. I really loved the original series. I thought they did an excellent job pretty much up until the end. They really wrapped it up pretty well, and it was just entertaining in a creepy kind of way because you're following a serial killer, but it's a serial killer with a conscience, essentially. But that's because of Harry, his father, and the rules that he instilled upon Dexter as a child. So, what we're going into now is actually Original Sins, which is the origin story of Dexter. Some have also been saying this kind of works as a bridge between New Blood and Resurrection. So Resurrection is the new Dexter that's coming out, and spoilers, sorry, I'm assuming based on the name you can figure out that Dexter didn't die. Or it's a zombie movie slash series. I'm not entirely sure. It's going to be a series, but yeah, I'm assuming he just didn't die at the end of New Blood. So anyway, so we head back to 1991 and follow a young Dexter played by Patrick Gibson. And instead of going to medical school, he actually decides that he wants to work for Miami PD, which I guess, as we all saw, turned out to be a perfect fit. I mean, I guess that's how we get our favorite serial killer who loves to kill killers. Say that 5 times fast. Dexter Original Sin is a 10-episode series that dives into Dexter's origin story, obviously. But we also get introduced to all of our favorite characters, but in a younger version. They did a really great job on casting, by the way, for the most part. Like, some of these characters look exactly like the ones from the original. Even their voices. Like, it's uncanny with how well that they did getting these characters like spot on. So we get a reintroduction to these characters, but then we also see Dexter's first kill and the rise of the dark passenger, as I like to call it. But you also kind of see him struggle and fumble along as he's trying to learn how to do all of this. And to top it all off, there's also a killer on the loose subplot line, so there's always something going on. Teenage angst, that's also a minor subplot, which was kind of annoying, but, other than that, the storyline, they did a really good job kind of keeping it where it needed to be, but also giving us some new stuff to kind of play around with mentally. The TV show pretty much gives us everything that we would want kind of from the original. So there's blood, body bags, voiceovers, and of course Michael C. Hall is doing the voiceover for Dexter because this wouldn't really be a Dexter show without Dexter himself. And of course, there are a lot of flashbacks, which is kind of funny because Dexter's young, but you also have to learn about where he came from and how this all came to be, what kind of set him off. So they give you those flashbacks so you can kind of figure out how Dexter became Dexter. I do have to warn you though that some of the clothing, if you grew up around the 90s, it's going to be a little triggering. Some of it is way over the top, as are the wigs, but overall, they did a pretty good job sending us back in time. So it's not horrible, but it may just feel worse if you just did not really like a lot of the clothing, like the sundresses with the little tight shorts underneath and the, yeah, anyway, you'll know what I mean if you watch it, or if you've already watched it, you get it. Now, as for the cast, we also have some veterans like Sarah Michelle Gellar, Christian Slater, and even Patrick Dempsey. And they do not disappoint. Christian Slater does a great job at playing this amazing father figure that has to deal with his son being, you know, potentially a serial killer. So there's a lot that is unboxed during that. Sarah Michelle Gellar, she's kind of intense, but also really funny. Like her sass is just spot on in this show. Patrick Dempsey is Patrick Dempsey. I mean, you can't go wrong. And I'm not going to go into too much detail about him because he has a little bit of a subplot himself. I'm not gonna spoil it for anybody, but it definitely, he does a great job. Great job. I also have to say that Gibson did a great job as Dexter. Now, granted, he's no Michael C. Hall, but that's kind of a good thing because he's playing a younger, more inexperienced Dexter. So there's a lot of awkwardness. He hasn't learned how to really human, right? So this is where you kind of get to see him grow. So he did a great job with that. And again, for the most part, the acting is really good. There were a few that I didn't agree with, but you can watch it and then you let me know if you agree. I'm sure if we're on the same wavelength, you'll know who I'm talking about. But again, aside from that one little bit, teenage angst and all of that, they really did a good job with it. Now let's move on to the Blu-ray. This does not disappoint. The Steelbook is great. It includes all 10 episodes in a sharp 1080p and of course a very crisp and clear Dolby True HD 5.1 sound. Do we expect anything less? No, absolutely not. So they really don't disappoint in the Steelbook. It gives you everything that you want with audio and video quality. I think you will be very happy with what you're getting with this. And if you are a fan of Dexter and have any of these Blu-rays, Steelbooks, whatnot, you will notice that this is the same True HD 5.1, 1080p. You're not going to be disappointed. They really try to make sure that everything kind of blends seamlessly, especially if you're going to watch these in order, so that's always a plus. Colors are stunning and they pop in those beautiful sunny Miami settings. If you've either ever been to Miami, seen pictures, or even have watched the show, you're going to know that a lot of buildings are very colorful. You have the ocean. It's just so beautiful, especially on the television in the 1080p. And then you have a lot of nighttime shots, right? So you have to make sure that even though they are dark and eerie, that you can still see things. So there's a lot of crispness and they're very easy to read. So you won't miss out on anything coming to sneak up on anybody in the darkness, in the shadows. And speaking of those nighttime scenes, obviously, very quiet. Maybe have some cricket noises off in the surround sound, but it can be eerily quiet. And they do such a great job on the audio to where it kind of makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up, and then all of a sudden there is this loud bang or something happens. Someone pops out of somewhere and you hear rustling of leaves, whatever. You can hear everything. It is just beautiful. So you will not be disappointed with that. Overall, the audio and video does not disappoint whatsoever. You can hear everything that you need to hear. Even whispers are clear enough to where you're not going to miss anything that the actors are saying. It's going to be easy to follow along. You will not be disappointed with this, I promise. So you know how I said that you wouldn't be disappointed with the audio and video quality? Well, there is something you are going to be disappointed with, and that's the extras on this really cool Steelbook Blu-ray. There's only one extra. It's 9.5 minutes of getting behind the scenes, talking about how they made Original Sin. And while it is a fun watch, I feel like with any television series, you should have so much more that's recorded. I guarantee you that there were so many bloopers, especially with the veterans. I can't, they're funny. They're so funny. And also when you're working in very tense situations, you know there's going to be a need to release the tension. So there's got to be a ton of jokes and bloopers and scares and, I just feel like this is probably one of the more disappointing extras that we've had in a really long time. So that's kind of a bummer. But the Steelbook itself is great. I mean, look at the hand. And on the back, it gives you Harry's code. And hopefully my lighting is not hitting that too bad. But I thought this was a really great way to kind of tie everything in for what Dexter's code is essentially. And then of course, when we open it, you have your 3 discs. So it's just a very clean, very fun fitting Steelbook for Dexter Original Sin. I mean, Dexter in general. I think this is just, it ties in nicely. If you're a collector, this will definitely fit into your collection of already purchased DVDs for it. So, is it worth it? Do you need the Steelbook in your life? First off, if you're a Dexter fan, absolutely 110%. You're getting more Dexter, and for the most part, that's a good thing. Like I said, they really did a great job trying to tie in the plot with giving you the origin story that they kind of just touched on in the other series. So I definitely think that this is something that you should have in your library, especially if you are a collector. If you are just starting with learning about Dexter, definitely start with this so you can get the origin story, work your way up to the main story. It's so good. I don't think you'll be disappointed. I think you will become a fan very quickly. So definitely something to have in your library. With this Steelbook, not talking about plot, even though we should mention again, acting is great. Plot, subplots are very good. There were a few misses with, casting, or maybe they just told the people to go a little over the top, but that doesn't deter from the overall series. So it's a lot of fun, but you're also getting great audio, fantastic video. It is a fun watch. Again, miss on the extras, but it's really not that bad. I still think you'll really enjoy it. Overall, I am going to give the Steelbook Blu-ray for Dexter Original Sin Season 1 a 3.5 out of 5. The release date for this Steelbook is June 10th, which is right around the corner, so you don't have to wait long. Get online and pre-order your copy today. And with that, this concludes my review of the television series Steelbook for Dexter Original Sin. Please be sure to like and subscribe to all of our channels so you never miss out on any entertainment news. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye!